Welcome back to the channel, everybody. I'm your boy, Ambitious Cam. This is Cam Survives. If this is your first time, welcome. I appreciate you guys stopping by and checking out my vlog. And I'm thankful that you guys are spending your time that you have watching this episode. It's crazy what people are not willing to do. And it's also crazy about, what people are willing to do. It's usually one extreme to the other, and it seems like it takes people a long time to decide that. You know what I mean? It's that you spend your life growing up, and your environments that you're in, and especially from the time you're born until you're about 7 years old, those 7 years are the most crucial time of a child's life, because it's where all the imprinting takes place. It is where all of the learning and the sponging really takes place, because once a person, man or woman, girl or boy, hits 8 years old, and they start getting on to those next 10 years of their lives until they're officially an adult, I guess, through society's eyes, an adult. And all that 10 years right there is pretty much locking in, and also taking in new information and stuff that around their current environment. And they spend that time learning everything so that they can take it on, and when they become an adult, they take on those characteristics, those behaviors that they've taken in all these years. And then they spend time going through that. Although they start doing this earlier, as early as probably 15 years old, or earlier than that maybe. But they start to go through like their trial and erroring, different behaviors, and by this time, by like 18 years old, most people, unless they've lived under a rock, they've adapted a certain way already. But then they get out there in society, and they go to the job force or college, which is just a whole bunch of different cultures and societal norms coming together in dorm rooms, or on campuses. It's happening less and less nowadays because a lot more schooling is done online. But they take that, what they've learned in their current environment, and they take it and they adapt into whatever where they're gonna be at, and they got to figure out, they got to settle down and be in that same location and see if everything resonates with them. They think it's okay to settle down. And this is what I'm talking about, where either it's one extreme or the other. And maybe it's not always one extreme or the other, but it's either you're into it or you're not. And a lot of people, unfortunately, are like, if they're not into it, they're against it, instead of just being neutral about it. And that's a sad sight to see. But I think that the whole idea, the mindset of needing to settle down, needing to become somebody that society accepts, so they're not left behind, so they're not lonely, I guess. And it's so crazy to me, because I sit and I reflect, like I said in the last episode, guys. I observe people. And if you guys did not check that episode out, then I am sorry that you missed it. Go check it out. Let me know what you guys thought. But I also want to apologize that it took so long to get that episode up. I had an issue with my computer, and at this current time, I am working towards buying a new computer. And hopefully I will have one by Friday, which is 2 days away. So we'll see what happens. And I'm not necessarily going to buy an expensive one, a real expensive one. It's not going to be $400. It'll be like around $1,000 or something like that, maybe. But hopefully by then I'll be able to have that computer, and now the episodes are rolling, hopefully. And And what I'm thinking about is with people settling down into those, that community, that they find, or maybe you're the one that didn't either, maybe decided that you didn't fit, or they thought you didn't fit into their norms. So you're somewhat of an outcast from that, and maybe that one too. And then you settle into this area where it's just dirty and nasty, and you get hooked on drugs real bad, and that environment becomes your life, because that's how that shit works. It's crazy though that people aren't open-minded more often. They're so laser focused on, I guess, themselves, or what they deem are their responsibilities. And if you're one of those people that are out there that are like that, you're so laser focused, then I'm happy for you, and I'm not putting anybody down by no means. That if you want to live the life you want to live, I'm not going to be judging you. Definitely, if you want to be negative, you go be negative, but do me a favor and don't be negative on my channel, all right, and my feed. You'll get blocked right away. I don't put up with it. I don't want it in my life, because I fight it all the time myself, and I don't want to have to open up my YouTube and or my Twitter or whatever this video is going to be on, or videos that I look at are going to be on. I don't want to see negative feed. And if it starts to be like that, you'll get blocked. But anyways, I don't get it why people cannot be more open-minded. And I think that if more people became more open-minded, we would see less people in poverty. Yeah, I think so. I mean, in a sense, I live in poverty. So, I mean, maybe that's not exactly the right word, but they're letting material things and debt, credit card debt and stuff like that control their lives. But let's get back to what I was wanting to talk about with, open-mindedness. And it's, everybody's brain seems like it's so closed circuit. It's this and that in my life, and this and that in my life. But if that's not in my life, I've got no time for it, because I've got everything else filling up my time to keep my mind busy. So I'm not at all ever alone with my thoughts. Being alone with my thoughts, I still struggle with from time to time. I don't expect anybody to master that. I don't know how I will ever be able to master that. But the thing is I don't get why people are so into material things. I don't understand the need for it, because I don't understand the need to have everybody's attention and approval. So I don't understand a lot of that stuff. And I will never knock anybody. I'll never put anybody down for whatever path they choose. That's whatever path they choose. If you are an alcoholic, a womanizer, abuser, and all those bad things, I will likely judge you in some way, just because I don't approve of that kind of thing. But ultimately, it's their choice, your choice, and you go do you. I won't have you in my life, though. Simply saying, I like my freedom, like my mind is free. And I think that's where I find more freedom in the world. There's all these people out here in the world that feel like they're locked into their job. I felt that way. I hit the road and found a new way. And I'm figuring things out, and it's making me happy. But people are stuck in these jobs. They're stuck in this debt. They keep buying new things. And I don't understand it. And the thing is they're being controlled by their material things. Just like I am also, in a way, being controlled in my material things in my life. I am. There's no way in a way that about it. I mean, I make a car payment. I have insurance on Black Beauty. I have my computer, my life, my phone, my job, material things in this world that I do have to, in this world that we live in, we do have to adapt in the world. I'm not against electronics and stuff and having things. I simply feel that I only have what I feel like I need to have. I have an iPhone 13. Before that, I had an iPhone 7 Plus. Yes, it took that long for me to upgrade because the apps on my phone forced me to upgrade my phone. Ridiculous. But I have an iPhone 13 now. I don't even know what the newest one is. But I'm happy with that. I want more people to be happy with less. You know? And that's why I don't need to be a millionaire. Again, that would be nice, so I can set my kids up a bit better. Because God knows I want to make my kids have an easier life, at least the second half of their life. Because I want them to live until about 40 years old, so on their own without any financial, I'm talking about inheritance, until they're about 40, because that's when they'll start realizing, most people start realizing that that's what needs to take place. You got to start straightening up and acting right. And I do want that, but I want more people, and do me a favor, hit the like button if you feel the same way. And if you're not already subscribed to the channel, I would really appreciate it if you would, because I am trying to get my voice out there, trying to get this growing. I want to grow a community around this, and I'm really wanting to do it, and I'm pushing forward. I'm buying a new laptop so I can do my gaming better, my editing better, bring more content to you guys. Do me a favor, smash that like button. I'm a happier person. And something else I wanted to bring to y'all's attention. Something else that I've learned the last couple of days. I can't remember exactly when it, kind of unraveled in my head, and hey, this is what's going on. I don't know when that took place, and then that I don't know about you guys, but that's kind of how it works for me, anyways. It just kind of happens, and I realized something. You guys know that I'm hardcore against the 9-to-5 grind. Having a job, being locked in 40 hours a week. And I still feel that same way. I don't like it. I want to be 100% free so I can travel. And I want to be able to do that and still be able to take care of my kids financially too. Which right now I'm not able to. Well, I don't know. The job I'm doing right now through the staffing agency I'm working through, maybe they'll start taking it out, child support out. If they do, I hope they do. If not, then I'll start getting a hold of Jefferson City, Missouri. But being in that 9-to-5 mindset, it's about being there, though. That's the biggest thing, being behind those doors all day. Other than when I get my breaks. But I'm learning. I think I'm learning. It feels like I'm learning, and I'm recognizing that it's like a habit. The same thing with my vape. When I vape, it's a habit more than anything, and there's also some comfort there as well with the vaping. But it's kind of a habit to get angry at the job, and I found myself doing that. When I was working at the AutoZone job for those 2 weeks. And I also found myself in the past as well with DoorDash and stuff, getting angry with DoorDash. And I felt like maybe it's because things just weren't going right, but that was also my state of mind. But let me bring you back to talking about the 9-to-5. It's like I go in there and I lock in. I lock into what I'm doing. I just feel a sense of, I feel that angry coming, trying to beat me up when something doesn't go quite right. Or when the printer stops printing stuff and you have to reprint it 3 times, or, resend the print, tell it to print 3 more times. And then you finally get them all out at the same time after like 5 minutes of waiting around. Those kind of things, are having to pull the battery out of the printer because it's not printing right, and then you boot it back up, then it prints. Uh, those things, the anger was trying to creep in when that stuff happens, and I feel I related it to uh, even Arm& Hammer when I worked there. When it first started off at Arm & Hammer, I was in good spirits. I would meditate a bit on my downtime when I was waiting for backfills, and I was on my last pick or whatever. It was good, and then over time it turned bad. And I allowed it each and every day for each and every one of those occurrences that took place. That it was a lesson to me now, and it still is, because I'm going to be learning every day until I learn to just completely not let it bother me. But it started building up there, and over time it became like most of my day. But then I started getting back to realizing this does not need to bother me. If it's got me behind on my orders or whatever, that's the system. I can't control it. Why am I getting angry over it? Or trying to get frustrated or rushing stuff? But like I tell you guys now, I am simply just living my life now. I'm not forcing anything to happen. I mean, you gotta please understand the difference between what I'm talking about, because I am forcing myself, not naturally. Like, it's more of a natural force, though, to come out here and record this episode, to record gameplay, to edit everything. I want to do that, so I'm putting that work, that effort in, yes. But I'm not getting stressed out if I can't edit when I plan to edit. I'm not getting mad because my computer won't let me do anything anymore online. It's super slow, and I'm being forced. To me, it's the universe telling me I need to go after a new computer, even if it's not top of the line. I need something better than my HP that I've had for 7 years. It's time to upgrade, and I'm not mad about it. I simply understand that it's not always going to be smooth sailing. Although I know I can continue to smooth sail. Because if I'm not letting it bother me, if I continue to remain in a harmonized state, then I know it'll work out. And it's not always easy for me. I would say it's never easy. It's simple, very simple to do, but it's never really easy. I mean, it's starting to get that way now that I'm learning more, and more is opening up to me inside my mind, and I am finding that there are so many bad things in this world that can't hurt me. And the only thing that's going to happen is I'm going to live my life, and I'm going to pursue becoming a better person. And of course, you guys know that I'm also very interested and very attached. That's a poor word for it, but I'm very intertwined with the Tao and Lao Tzu, and also Confucius and Buddha. That they're, the ultimate Buddha that everybody praises over, right? Super intertwined with all that, and it helps me understand things more. And I simply reflect. I observe, I take it in, and I reflect. I have enough interactions throughout the day. I think I have plenty. But that's another thing is, too, you have to keep that balance, because I mean, if you're trying to stay focused and trying to build upon your better version, you do have to distance yourself from pretty much everybody as often as you can. Because their influence will unintentionally affect your behaviors. And when you have those moments where you're not standing guard because you're in the moment, when you're in the moment around the negative energy, that's when it's bad. But if you're in the moment around the positive energy, that's when it's good, to just let it happen. But you have to stand guard and watch those evil thoughts as they come through when you're around society more so than you would while you're doing your own thing, like I do. I still interact with people, and you have to, because if you don't interact with people, you lose a bit of what you need in this life. You can't 100% go lone wolf. You can do that for your focus, for your building, for your craft. You can be a lone wolf. You can be strong on your own. I am strong on my own. I am the only lion in my pack. You know what I'm saying? I'm the only wolf in my pack. I am the king of my own jungle. And I'm formulating my life that way. I'm pushing 39. I'll be 39 this year in September. And I've been slowly learning this over the last 7, 8, 9 years now, when I finally decided to try to figure it out. And I'm figuring it out. And I'm also door dashing today. It is Wednesday, but I have myself scheduled to DoorDash from, I think, 4:30 until like midnight, which I could stop anytime I want. I just wanted to flex it out there as long as I could. But I am going to be working tonight. I did work today. Like I said, I'm working Monday through Friday. This is hump day. It's Wednesday. And if you guys stayed to the end of the episode, you guys know I appreciate you guys for watching and for all your comments and your support. It means a lot to me. And I'm going to keep bringing content to you guys. I'm not going to be focused around the Tao in my videos, like Tao Te Ching and all of that. You can't. I think I would ruin it trying to explain it. Trying to explain how it works, because it's really just simple. I mean, it's simple as understanding the way of nature, of the universe, that it all works out whether you do anything or not. That's pretty much all it boils down to. And being a well-being, being a kind person, and not being overexertive when it comes to helping people, but when you see an opportunity to help somebody and it would benefit them, it would benefit to help them, then do it. Like if they're carrying a bunch of boxes and their hands are full and you see them approaching the door and nobody else is right there to open it, make yourself available. If you're only 20 feet away, make yourself available, help that person. It's something very simple, very small. And don't run across the street to help her and get hit by a car, that would kind of defeat the purpose. But it's pretty much that simple, guys. I love you guys. I can't say that enough. It's pure amazing, what life can be if you allow yourself to see it. And don't get caught up in that negative shit at work. It'll kill you. Literally. We'll see you guys in the next episode. Peace.